Hey, in this video, I'm going to show you a very proper and clean way to onboard your clients using a Go High Level CRM. A very simple NAN workflow is literally 2 nodes and automating responses in Slack and Asana for client details and management. It's very simple, and I'm really excited to show you. So the first thing that I ended up building in Go High Level was 2 onboarding sites. So this is the white glove onboarding website or landing page. I think that's a better way to put it. So we're going to open this up. And what I actually ended up doing was taking a template and taking the HTML from another website and just pasting it into the funnel builder to build out proper flow for me without having to actually drag and drop anything. And you may be thinking, what the heck does that even mean? Or maybe you do already know what that means. And then the structure is really what you're looking for. But all I did was add an element. And if we look down where it says code, dragged and dropped it. And then I created a custom code here. And I used ChatGPT to help me figure that out. So I took a template of a website. I put in a screenshot here. And I basically just said, hey, can you give me some custom HTML that I can plug it into the custom JavaScript or HTML section for Go High Level? And it said, sure. And it gave it to me. And then I plugged it in and it gave me this. And it looks ugly. So let's click this, preview custom nodes. And there's a video here. And there's this. And then there's the form embedded. And I'll show you how to build the form. So let's just take a quick look at the preview, so you can see how it actually looks. All right, so form here, I built the form custom and then I embedded it and I gave ChatGPT, I said, here's the form and here's the YouTube link or the video link that I want embedded in the code. So I put the form, I put the YouTube video, and this alone is a really awesome hack, speed hack to build your custom landing pages. So it built all this out for me. I added the logo through a drag and drop, added the image here, and there's a lot of different things that you can edit, right? This was a drag and drop, this wasn't code. But I built this, and then what I ended up doing with the form, so let's take a look at that real quick. In Sites, there's a form section, so we go to Builder, and then we'll come to Create Your Folder, and or you don't need folders, but I just created the form, made it however I wanted to build it out. Any questions I wanted to add, this is for my business. You can edit it as you need for yours and integrate, right? So you'd come over to embed code. I just keep it inline. That's where I have it set up. You can do a pop-up, slide in. There's different ways you can mess with it. But essentially that was it. And then here on this button, you could change the button. You could change a lot of things. So I'm not going to get too caught up in how to build a Go High Level form. There's other videos to learn how to do that exactly. But what I do want to show you is on the form submit, open URL, and then I attach the link to the next step of my onboarding funnel. And you can edit the path of the actual link that the hosting, right? So the website, let's show you real quick. So it's going to ask you to add a domain. That's another video, but you'd add the domain, you can change the path, and then I like to organize all my links in a Google Doc just to keep everything, like I know, me and my team knows what's what and what's for what, right? So after I ended up doing that, I created a thank you page, and let's open that up, and I'll show you the exact process I used to create this thank you page, and it was actually a lot of fun. It already had some context. ChatGPT had some context as to how I wanted maybe a thank you page for the next step. So I just created the next step on the funnel builder. And I said, hey, let's see what I asked it. Can you create a custom thank you page for the next step? Custom HTML. As you see there, have them reach out to here with any questions. I didn't like how it originally looked. Can we do a confetti thing when it loads and maybe make everything a tad bigger? So I took the code, rinse, wash, repeat, plugged it in here, and then let's show the preview of what this looks like. I thought it's so simple and it's so effective. So it created the confetti, I added the logo, and there we go. That's the next step of the onboarding site. So we're going to walk through the entire onboarding flow from the onboarding form to what happens internally in my CRM and how my team's notified as to when an onboarding is needed and how my salespeople know that the prospect actually converted, right? So I have an opportunity here of myself, agreement and invoice sent. And they went through my first call, second call. I have automations for those bookings as well to get them on the phone, on the Zoom, and to guide them through the process and to go through my sales process. And after that, if I know that they're at a $9,500 price point, I would just add that here because that's important for the next step automation. And originally it'd be assigned to me if I'm the closer of the business or one of my salespeople. And we'll do this. I'll show you the custom proposal that I created. And Go High Level is great because you don't have to pay for PandaDocs. You don't have to pay for DocuSign. You can build a template, and we'll open up this template, and I'll show you how this looks. So when we want to send a proposal to a client, we'd use the template. This just makes life so much easier because all the documents are just hosted in one place and you're saving money, which is always awesome for a business owner. So this would be the first thing I would do after I close them. I'd have them fill out this proposal document. It's an agreement as well as the scope of work. So, whatever your business is, just imagine, get the idea out of this and you can structure it however you'd like for yourself. So when it sends out, I would have to fill this out, where the salesperson would fill out the overview, scope of work. First one's required, other ones is additional. You'd add the price. You'd add the client as a recipient. Cool. So we'd add the recipient, and that way now they'd fill out their side. And it's a simple agreement as well. So we would send this out after we got them to sign, and I'll go back to the next step because that literally is a step after closing them, right? So you could see the completed agreements as well. And let's just actually go through the onboarding process now. So after I've converted them, me as the closer or my salesperson would take the link. So this is the onboarding form. And you do a simple onboarding video, literally a minute or two, host it wherever you want, probably not best on YouTube, but you'd fill out the client information. So let's fill this out. I did a multi-option dropdown so they could choose the options that they purchased. And we'll keep it short. If there was a custom solution that was involved, maybe they just got a CRM build, okay. Any details the prospect or the client now wants us to know ahead of time, submit the details, and we'll see what happens next. So thank you page shows up. Cut that off. But thank you page, confetti, great stuff, awesome. Come back to the CRM now, and we'll notice the automations that I built internally. This is going to be the structure of how things are moved forward beyond filling out the onboard form. So this is how you create a world-class experience for your clients. As soon as they onboard with you, you create this illusion of movement. And it's literally just proactive measures, texts, and emails that they get so they feel the movement. Last thing you want to do is pay somebody some money, or your client, right? Your customer, they pay you some money for an online service or a brick and mortar service, and they're waiting for what? Like, what are they waiting for to happen? Even if their session is maybe a week from now, like, I know I like to get an email and a text. I know I like to be followed up with. So I'm kept in mind. I don't want to be forgotten about when I pay somebody a substantial amount of money, or even if it's 30, 40, 50 bucks, I want to know that I'm taken care of. So that's why, aside the appointment reminders for the initial sales process, the onboarding process. So what ends up happening after they fill out the form, I created an onboarding workflow. So after that form that's connected to that landing page is filled out, the deal is then moved to the closed deal section of my pipeline, and that will situate this. So it's going to say closed deal, great, and I've actually already triggered this, so that's why I didn't go through again, but it situated it there, or actually it did. Okay, so that went through. And it's waiting 5 minutes. I like to create a buffer. This is, you can think why you would need this. I know why I do. But essentially that goes through, that would notify me in Slack, let my team know there was some money converted and we have a payment coming through. So new client, and I'm going to actually move this forward. So hold on. So I'm going to push this through to the next step of the workflow. And it's going to assign it to Chris. It's going to send a text to Chris, new onboarding needed, or the onboarding rep. Update contact to customer, because that's going to activate my review request workflow, which I'm going to show you next. And there's a workflow connected to this as well that sends over the details to Slack for the sale amount. So the 2 other workflows connect 3 others, 2 here on Go High Level, 1 on NAN. But let's keep it simple. Onboarding text goes out to the prospect. The person who's the contact, so hi contact, it's so-and-so, whoever's assigned to the onboarding session, onboard email. And then in Slack, there would be a new onboarding needed right here, and it'll send a webhook out to NAN, which situated something in Asana, which I'm not going to show you just yet. So why this is all happening is because I'm already thinking a few steps ahead. I know we're going to do a great job with our client, and I'm going to want to know that they're going to leave me a good review in the future. So I've situated another workflow that initiates a 30-day or 35-day wait. Let me update that. It's a 35 wait process. I've already went through and I've pushed myself through already, so it's not going to re-enter me, but it would put them here. And then 35 days post me actually onboarding them submitting the form, they'll get a send review request. And that is actually connected to, which I'll show you here in a sec, the reputation part of Go High Level. So now I'm creating a world-class experience for my client, my customer, and I've already thought ahead and I've automated the review request process. So now I can be expecting them to be notified that I'd like to have a review since I did such a good job. And they don't always leave reviews, but you could basically set up your request process. You can create templates, but it'll add them here. And then let's come to settings. And when you're in settings, when to send SMS after check-in immediately. And until clicked, repeat this once a month. So if they don't click it, they're going to keep getting a notification or text to leave us a review, and it's going to try 5 times. So now if you have 30 customers that just came through, or even let's say 100, let's say they all onboarded the same day, okay? After month 1 or 35 days, they're all going to get a review request. Maybe 10 of them leave you a review. The other 90 are going to get notified another 30 days from now to leave a review. And that's a wonderful thing because now you don't even have to chase people down for a review. Guys, this is huge. The simplest things creating the biggest impact, because those reviews digitally, that digital exposure makes a huge difference for your business. A lot of you already know what I'm talking about, but these simple things save you so much time. You don't have to reach out to them. It's all done for you. And you can also do an email. So that's what ends up happening through this next step of the workflow. So let's go back. And I mentioned to you that there was another workflow connected to the initial, which was the close deal, the opportunity update. And in sales, when a deal is marked as 1, so when the pipeline stage is the close deal, it marks it as 1, and then it'll send the incoming notification to Slack, which said, hey, look, there was an actual sale. So that's what ends up happening. And then beyond that, I'm going to show you the client. This is literally 2 nodes, guys. 2 nodes on NAN. I created a incoming onboarding hook, right? So this one went out before. And let's just show you the product of what ended up happening. So it would create an onboarding task, needs onboarding. And I attached the proper fields here from NAN. So now we know there's an onboarding needed, and you can customize this as you need, however your onboarding process is. Unfortunately, my audio got cut off, so I'm just recording this here. But as you can see, I'm going back to my workflow. And we're going to open it up and going back to the original onboard workflow, right? So coming down, you can see the webhook, and you can see how I literally just attached the webhook URL, and it's integrated fairly simple. I put all the fields from the actual Go High Level form from the landing page that we created throughout that process. And yeah, I mean, keeping it really straightforward, as you could see, we have all the forms there. And if you look to the right, the webhook, I literally just pinned the data from the initial test that I did, and I didn't overcomplicate it. I dragged and dropped a lot of the data, which you'll see. I'll open it up. That data was pinned. Come back to the Asana node, and I dragged and dropped the details from Asana. And connecting Asana to NAN is a little bit of a nuanced process, but it's worthwhile and it's fairly simple. Once you do it once, it's already integrated into your NAN. And I literally just dragged and dropped each property. So I look for the client name, and eventually I find it. I get there, slow and steady. I find it, drag and drop it, right? And you can add whatever text in front of the field that you want. So if I want to like onboarding needed for so-and-so, drag and drop the username. And then I put all the other details that I wanted in the Asana description. So if we open up the Asana and we look at the task, you can see the description there and all the details that I needed for the prospect and for my team to see are already there. Let's see while we're pulling up this enrollment history. Okay, so we're going to let this load. And we're going to come back to the user and we're going to see the outbound messaging that went out. And at this point, I believe I'm just going to simply show you the calendar. Okay. And the calendar for the onboarding call. So also, I might even note here in the contact, there's a custom field for the form that I set up on the onboarding form. There's a section for all the links and everything, not the links, but the inputs there on the contact. But anyways, as you could see, the onboarding calendar is set up here that automatically went out after the onboarding form was signed. They can book a time with the team to be onboarded and all that good jazz. So it's a pretty streamlined process. There's going to be a private WhatsApp group that's set up, and the onboarding agent is going to insist that they set up this time so they can hop on and chat with them and fully onboard them and guide them through the process. And let's see what else I did end up showing you next. I didn't want to overcomplicate anything, but I think I showed you the calendars and how I set up everything in the calendar section. So I have two calendars, as you'll see, for sales, and I have one for onboarding, and I set up a few different groups. So I like to set up different groups for each of my calendars, and that way you can activate workflows based off of the groups as well. So if a calendar appointment is set in one group and there's 10 different calendars, it'll activate based off of any one of the calendars in that group going off. But it's a really clean cut, clear, simple way to organize your calendars. You don't need to overcomplicate it, but I really love the way that this is set up. And that's really it. If you guys feel you got some value out of this, please be encouraged, or please subscribe for more content like this. Go ahead, leave a comment if you have any questions. You're more than welcome to book a call with me. There's going to be some questions on there if you're just looking to learn, answer them to the best of your ability. And if you'd like to leave any feedback as to how I created these videos or just simple questions, leave a comment below. You can follow me on any of my other channels as well. All my links for my social medias are attached in the description below. Well, I appreciate you watching. I hope you got a ton of value out of this, and I will see you on the next one.